Hi everybody, I am Zura and today we are going to have another tank review. Our special guest is the ARL 44. This is a Navy French tank that stands at tier 6. Yes, tier 6 French heavy tank. Our French tank famous for what? For armor, for gun, for speed, for what? This is a veteran tank. Probably all of you knows really well this tank. But probably I can tell you something different. There are small details that are hidden inside these tanks. And we are going to discover if this tank is good or not briefly. Just before seeing how it performs on Abbey bottom tier, we are going to check on paper its statistic in comparison to the other tanks of the same tier. And yes, this is our comparison. I have decided to put in the comparison all the heavy tank of tier 6 with huge guns. I know that something is missing, but just because the gun is small like the Churchill 7 and so on, I have chosen gun range from 88 millimeters coming from the VK, the German one, up to 107 of the Russian T-150. Okay, because the playstyle of this tank can be somewhat similar and someone rely on the strong punch. I believe that the real strong punch is not okay in the German one and is not okay in the M6, the American one. That is a very versatile tank, but the punch is pretty standard, 240 damage. Then the KV-85 has different choices of gun. I know that you can equip 122 millimeters for 390 alpha on the KV, but that gun sucks. It's really inaccurate and so on. So the 100 millimeter is way better, and I prefer to make the comparison of those four tanks because they can punch from 250 up to 300. Some one of you can say that, wow, 330, 105 millimeters. Why? If I using standard round, I have 300 damage. If I using pay to win style, I have 330. Wow, this is pretty strange. This is, of course, pay to win, in my opinion. Well. Let's go and check something different. The ARL 44 has three choices for guns. All three are good: 90mm, 90mm, 105. The first 90mm have so and so penetration like the 105, but have better DPM. Okay? The last gun with the monster 212 penetration as a downside has a very bad DPM. So I believe that these three guns are somewhat on the same level because I have alpha DPM but not so much penetration, or I can prefer penetration and I want to sacrifice DPM and alpha damage and so on. Okay, firepower of the three choices, it's okay. Now let's go and check the gun handling. The gun handling of the first 90mm, it's way better than the other. Better aim time, better accuracy, and better turret traverse dispersion. So I'm always more sure that these three guns are on the same level. I love the strong punch, I love the versatility of the first 90mm, and I love the penetration of the latest one. But how can choose? Well, this is my personal opinion and it's only the mine. I believe that if you want to play ARL 44, you have to play pay to win. Full gold, 223mm of penetration, and I don't know why the alpha damage goes up to 10% and go close 2000. With premium round equipped, the better gun, the better ARL is the ARL equipped with 105mm boomstick. Okay, now let's go on suggesting the equipment, but you can choose all the guns. All the guns are okay, especially the first 90mm. If you want to go full gold, if you go full gold, you have 248mm of penetration, a very better gun handling. So all the three choices, it's okay. But this tank for me has to be played with the bigger gun, just because suggesting the equipment, ventilation, gun ramen, and coded optics. Okay, because gun depression 10 degrees all around, very nice. Because the biggest gun, the bigger boomstick, because the armor of this tank is not so good. Frontally, you have around 120 on the turret and 150-60 on the hull, so probably you can try to tank rounds coming from tier 5 and tier 4. The better position, the better defense position of this tank is using 15 degrees angle of the side, and try to side scrape and absorb something on your side armor and thick track. But beware, because there's a huge hole, in the center of the tracks. Turn your turret towards your enemy, just because the outside of the turret can be bouncy, and try to use your gun depression, just because you can maximize your pretty decent, pretty nice hull armor. Upper plate goes up to 190mm of armor. So the armor of this tank is not exceptional. The side sucks, the rear sucks. Beware of Artafire. Artafire can be very painful for French guys, as the same of the tier 5, tier 6. Nothing changed. The armor sucks. The mobility is not bad at all, because we have close to 16 power weight ratio, 37 kilometers. So the mobility of this tank is not bad at all. The gun handling, it's not the best, but the punch is very strong. And now let's see how it performs on the battlefield. Don't expect to see something too exceptional. Wow, there's something that doesn't work. Okay, the replay speed was 2 per. But the tank is not slow. It's huge. It's a huge tank, pretty heavy, but not slow. You can stroll around in a good way, better than the other guys. I believe that only the M6 can be faster, yeah, and the backward speed sucks. M6 sucks, backward speed, and reverse speed of the M6 sucks, and the ARL is the same. This tank can't rely on armor on this situation. If you are top tier, you can go and try to be an heavy tank. If you are bottom tier, you have to be really careful, because your only friend is the gun. The gun has a real strong punch. 330 damage, can scare a small tank, and can scare tier 8. But be aware, your gun handling is not good. The first shot, 330, I took away 50% of the tier 6 Italian medium. Okay, but I have to be careful. I need some help. I can go outside, because my huge turret is very weak. I have to aim. Look at this one. The guy tried to shoot at my cupola. I don't know if he succeeded. Probably yes. but it's not necessary you can shoot directly on the turret. Yeah, I have received a shot in this place near the turret ring. 110 millimeters of armor is not enough. Any tier 6 probably can go through your turret, with the exception of the mantlet. You have a square box cubic mantlet that is a full cast piece of steel, and probably nothing can go through the mantlet. But otherwise, look, another shot on the cheek, and I have to be really careful, and I can keep punching. When the enemy doesn't look at you, you can punch. Better to avoid to take a shot. This is not a very good situation because I'm risking to losing HP to do 20 damage and trying to took away those guys. I have bounced it. I have bounced a shot and probably, yeah, the upper parts of the turret. In this part, I have to took away that tank because every enemy from tier 6 are very dangerous. And now I can use the scary SU-101 as a ram, as a barrier, and I succeeded in going through the turret. Look at this gun. This is a very stupid battle. 11-2. One-way battle, but the main important things to see in this tank is the alpha damage. In my opinion, is the only thing that is real good. Look at the accuracy, dispersion, gun handling. Not good at all. The big gun has not good gun handling, but the punch. 330 again. A really strong punch for only a tier 6. So, this is the ARL 44. Let's go and check the post-game stats. Here we are. Okay, master remark. A very awful battle. I'm so sorry for this stupid replay, but I can keep playing ARL. I have a lot of tank to play, so probably I don't want to waste so much time on ARL. I succeeded in reaching the first place. 30 shots, 10 on target, 8 penetration. Probably I've lost. No, I have played full god, no lost. Oh, sorry, personal reserve activated. Okay, you are going to lose some credit if you are going to use premium run on this tank. But the secret of this French tank is the pay to win factor. The gun is not bad. If you can close the distance with your enemy, your punch is really strong. It's the same like the tier 7, the AM4 45 has the same gun. If you go with premium round, even the tier 7 that sucks became a decent tank, a playable tank. And here is the same. There are other tier 6 that can do way better than the ARL. But the gun of the ARL probably is one of the best, because alpha damage is a very key factor, because you are not compelled to go outside many times like Churchill 7. Churchill 7, 150 damage. To make 300 damage, you have to expose your tank twice, and you have to penetrate twice, and etc. DRL once. So, this is the secret. Don't get shooted. If you are top tier, your monster gun can wreck any tier 5 and 4 in 1 or 2 shots. If you are bottom tier, tier 8 has to respect you, because you can do 330 for each single shot. This is the ARL, in my personal opinion. Okay guys, the tank is okay. for this review we have done. Your Zura greets you, everybody. Don't forget to leave a thumb up, a thumb down, leave comment, leave whatever you want. Don't forget to come on Twitch and see me live streaming. I'm so sorry that I don't have produced a lot of English review in this period, because I'm pretty damn sure that my English sucks and I have a lot of problem in finding words and trying to keeping on this work of reviewing in English. I don't know why I started reviewing in English. I am concentrating myself for the Italian language, but some of you say, Zura, keep going. Don't go down and keep going reviewing English. And okay, this is my return. See you next time, guys.